Ace just means to me, number one, ace. The more you put your mind into what you want to achieve, I think you can achieve it. I used to just go and run, just do a little jogging every now and then.
Yes.
There was a friend of mine, a brother named Charge.
Okay.
Yeah. He used to come and run with me. And if you see my style of training now, especially we call it jogging and the workout, where it's not just a constant jog, it will break up into like we'll stop and we'll do lunges and squats and so forth.
I didn't want to go into that just but for the listeners, because I know what you're talking about in terms of jogging and the workout. For the listeners, break down what the jogging and the workout
this is what I'm trying to get to. Me and this brother used to just run. I ain't gonna lie to you, we used to run and this. If you get tired, we'd stop. But then I came up with this idea to say, all right, do 10 lunges. And we'll do 10 lunges, catch our breath and then run on. Stop again. Do 10 push-ups. That's where it kind of created from. So instead of just a constant running, because we were tired at the time, I ain't gonna lie to you, right? We'd stop and we'll do a little workout in between. It was just me and him. Somebody would hear about it became 3. Somebody else would hear about it became 4. I think at the time, this is still again in the 80s, that kind of propelled me to anything that I was doing. If I was making a cassette, I was, in the intervals, I'd be down there doing push-ups and doing squats. It was as if any little free time that I have, I wanted to do. I just wanted to move my body. And that's what I always constantly were doing at the time.
We moved from the business. When did you decide to start forming Ace Fitness as a fitness business?
It was about the same time, because I was still doing my Ace Fitness recordings. I was still at Don Christie's, helping out, bringing in records and going to London and all that kind of stuff. And here was another opportunity, because if I was to say, all right, I'm running, people started to know that I was running every Saturday.
Yes.
I'd be up at Sandwell Valley every Saturday, rain or shine, running. And that's when we came up with this jogging and the workouts concept. So all that was going on at the time, I was still going by Rob about 2-3 times a week, training with him. So all this was going on. And in my mind now, I'm thinking, no, I had a proposal from Dan Christie to buy the record shop.
Yeah. And
within that proposal, I took it on. I said, yeah, I'm going to do that. We came to an agreement that within a certain amount of time, he would be there and then he would just move out. I think he was going to America at the time. And I would just take over the shop. Within the taking over the shop, I even bought a bench where me and my friends used to go around the back and start to push weights and so forth. So I had all this going on, the record shop, the cassette business, and slowly I was just taking time to build Ace Fitness.
Yeah.
All at the same time. This is late 80s, early 90s.
And when was the time period when you saw that this Ace Fitness thing is starting to, grow and it's starting to become something that's benefiting other people?
Right. Even when me and my friend, like I said earlier, Charge was doing it, I saw that benefit straight away because I felt the benefit.
Yeah.
In those days, I was a smoker. I used to smoke my liquor, But then, like I said, you're questioning everything that you're doing, and more I'm questioning the smoking over my health over my smoking. You can't do the both, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And within time, I was just getting more and more serious about my health journey.
Yeah.
Because I've now been to Africa twice. I've now seen a different life. I now know how powerful I can be within myself to achieve what I want to achieve. So in my thinking now, we say, I could build a business out of this because it's a lifestyle at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm serious about being in the gym every day. I'm serious about getting my workout every day. And people are now coming, when you up to do San Valley, why you don't do this? Why you don't try this? And I think that's where it started to mushroom from, and say, you know what? Let me see if I can get a little building and so forth. The first place I went to was a Newtown Community Center.
Okay.
I remember going there first time. I wanted £20 for the 1 hour room. And I was like, let me try something. I think I was in there for about 6 to 8 weeks. Not one single soul came.
And how did that feel?
It would be easy to say disheartened, but in another sense, I think because I already believed in myself.
Yeah.
I've already believed, say, it's going to work. It's going to work. You know what I mean? I was taking £20 out of time and not getting nothing back. The only thing I got back out of that, I must admit, was I got a little run around. I was in there doing my little thing. Me, one, and my girlfriend at the time. And then one person came. I remember that young lady when she came. And then 2 people came. And then 3.
Yeah.
And it just built from there.
What's your take on, because this is something that we spoke about as well, quite a lot. 2 things. What's your take on passion and consistency?
Passion and consistency is number 1. Like again, it's so easy to just fall in the normal trap of the system that you live in. Leave school, get a job, and so forth. Buy a house and so forth. That's the model. Yeah?
Yeah.
But again, this is just me. Rasta does make me know, say, I've got to find my way. You got to find what makes you happy. I'd rather live life under my terms than living life under the term of somebody else. Maybe because it's financially better or ever what. You know what I mean? And like I said, because from an early age, you're taught to question everything. That's what Rasta do for me. Question everything. Just because your parents or society said this is the way it goes, isn't necessarily true. It might go that way for some, but it doesn't necessarily mean it goes that way for you. You've got to follow your passion. This is what my early teacher, Jim Rowan's, teach me. Passion. Follow your passion. Follow what makes you happy. What makes you successful. Success doesn't mean money, which a lot of people, I think, have got it lost. Success is just winning the day.
Yeah.
If you can win every day, you're winning in life. So that's what I was trying to aim for. Or should I say, that's what I'm aiming for. Just to win every day.
And in terms of the culture, the Rasta culture, do you think that, and if you compare it to nowadays, the youths growing up nowadays, do you think, not just the Rasta culture, but do you feel that the lack of identity, the lack of cultural awareness, or the lack of knowing themselves, do you think that has a big impact on society moving forward nowadays?
Most definitely. I believe that society, as it's made up, has basically dumbed down society, has dumbed us all down. Because a lot of us are more into material, status. A lot of people, without even realizing, have become dumbed down. You know what I mean? Nobody ain't got no libraries in their house no more. Libraries change. It's now Audible and things like that. Yet a lot of people ain't reading. A lot of people aren't educated. I am a strong believer that a lot of people, once you leave school, a lot of people put down education. And I think education is something that never goes out of fashion. We always got to educate ourselves. Remember, where we are now in life, I got 60 years, but I've still got to look for the next. It might be 40, it might be 50.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how long they're going to be here for. But if we don't plan for it, and plan for it don't necessarily mean just financially. Plan for it as in having good health. That means your food consumption, having a strong body, your exercise, you know what I mean? Your water intake, all of that. If we don't educate ourselves then on how to live, there's the education again. We're going to have problems.
Would you consider yourself an entrepreneur?
Yeah. Entrepreneur means to me somebody who gets up and makes business, create them own business, create their own life then. And isn't that our duty then? We're all entrepreneurs in a sense, but like again I said, because of the way society is set and how they have dictated how it's supposed to go, a lot of people just fall into that. But we're all entrepreneurs. We all can be creative and do things and try things and, you know what I mean, follow your own passion and so forth. But it's mindset. If you ain't got the mindset, or you're not taught to have the mindset, then you're going to have that problem where you just feel, say, just follow what society do. It's easier, isn't it? Yeah. It's easier. But like I said before, and I strongly have to go back to this as well, it's a dumbing down of society. You know, it's easier if you just play small, because that's how society would rather you to be. You know what I mean? Pay your taxes, you know, pay your bills and so forth, and play small. Go on holiday when you've been told to, or when you're allowed to, things like that. But what about higher self? Yeah. What about finding up your passion and look, them say, if you find something that you love, you know, a passion, you know, you never work another day in your life, you know, and I do believe that's true. I really do believe that's true. This ain't no work for me. Yeah. And I think when we train, because you train hard, Ezra, very, very hard. And sometimes I leave the training session and I think to myself, I don't know how he does it. I'll be honest. But when I reflect back, and even now, this discussion, your passion, I think, is something that drives you. You said something the other day where I think one of your clients was trying to book in a session, and you said, whatever time you tell me, I'm going to be here. Even if you say 4 o'clock in the morning, I will be here 4 o'clock in the morning. So talk to me about, you know, when you wake up, because when I wake up in the morning, sometimes I have to motivate myself to get out of bed and so forth. What's it like for you? What's it like for me? Like I say, you know, Stephen, I try to tell a lot of people this. We need to learn how to be our best friend. Yeah. So my conversation with myself is always upbeat, positive. I believe, say, that conversation that I'm having with myself is going to set me up for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Everything starts with the way we think and what we think. So it's a circle. Before me go to my bed, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for everything. I'm thankful for the health I've got, the people around me, the life that I'm living, everything. I'm very, very thankful. Because I really do believe, say, that puts you in a good place. Yeah. To be thankful for everything. So then, when you do shut down now and you wake, it's thanks again. Yeah. You know what I mean? Here comes the day. I've already got my to-do list. I already kind of know what I've got to do. So, I think I'm fortunate because it's not work for me. It's only anything that I do in my life is going to make me a better person. So if I'm going to get up at 4 o'clock to meet a client here, I remember, you know, if I say 4 o'clock, I'm going to make sure that I'm here at 3:30 at least to make sure the place is warm and all that kind of stuff. So that person is them coming into a warm environment, they're ready to work. And within my mindset, it's only going to make me a better person if I can push myself and do things like that. Yeah. Remember, you know, sometimes we don't really know what's up the road. Some people say it's God preparing them for ever what. I say the universe. I believe that I am trying to prepare myself for ever what's going to be thrown at me, whether good or bad. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to make myself the strongest person I can be. Not for nobody else, but firstly for me. So that means say anything in life that's thrown at me, whether good or bad, I am ready. I want to fast forward to the previous year, 2020. That year is going to be a year that no one will ever forget. It's something that all generations will talk about. Something I often reflect on. I don't know if much people speak to you about it. You adapted, changed, transformed, but also going back to some of the conversations you said in terms of the positivity. I believe that you helped each and every one that
attended your sessions mentally, because a lot of negative narratives were being pushed out. This Ace Fitness community was nothing but positivity, and it was a lot of mental wellness and physical wellness, the messages that you were putting out. So I want to talk to you about consistency, touch back on consistency and how you managed to navigate through 2020 and how you reinvented yourself in different ways. You know, you had to adapt to the lockdown measures. We used to train at Broadway, but I've noticed that since Broadway was shut down, a lot of people would have said, my business is come to an end now, and I'm just going to sit down and wait until this year passes. But you didn't do that. You know, how the first lockdown, how you coped with that, and how you was able to consistently put out a positive narrative.
Right, that's back in March. Okay. As usual, the year start January, and everything start positive for me.
Yeah.
You're just moving forward, doing what you're doing, and so forth. Like you said earlier, we're at Broadway. I'm now at Broadway 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Just starting to introduce more one-to-one classes apart from the classes that I was normally doing. So everything's good. We're coming down into March and now talking about this lockdown and virus and all that kind of stuff, right? I'm already a strong believer that no matter what, you've got to find a way. I'm a very, very strong believer in that. So it's not the problem, you know, it's the solution for me. Because you're always going to have situations. There's a statement that says, it's not what you go through, it's how you deal with it. And I really, really believe that. So here comes March and they're saying, boom, lockdown. That means everything has to stop. You can't do this, you can't do that, and so forth. Right? We're at Broadway. Broadway is now going to shut down. It's a school, which is part leisure.
Yeah.
So they're not going to shut down the whole leisure. There's nothing you can do. Right? So in my thinking, all right, what am I going to do here? Here's a situation. What am I going to do here? I can keep my Saturday runs going on. Yeah? And I can keep my one-to-ones at my client's house going on. I've not got a venue now. First week, 2 weeks into the lockdown, I kind of sat down a little bit, got my meds on, meditation. You know what I mean? Trying to find, okay, how am I going to do this now? People are talking about Zoom, internet posting their videos, workout videos, and so forth and so forth. I'm now thinking, how's this thing going to work out? What am I going to do here? So forth. I'm still doing my Saturday runs. It doesn't look like Broadway is going to open back for now. I believe in the law of attraction. The law of attraction is what you put out will come back to you.
Yeah.
So already my mindset's positive. I'm asking the universe, how do I go from here? What do I do from here? What direction am I going to take from here? Because I've got to keep moving forward, no matter what. I'm training this young lady one morning, and it's raining. I've got to meet her. It was 4 o'clock in the morning, early couple weeks in March. It's raining. Remember, I would meet her to go for a run with the rain out there, and I didn't want to cancel on her. I met her down by Hampstead Hill. There's a Shell petrol station. Down there, there's a place, and it's got like a shelter, like a car park with a shelter. And I phoned her and said, meet me there, and we'll do this 1 hour workout. Because I don't do letting down. I'm not going to let the weather unless it's really, really severely bad and there's no other option. I'm going to cancel. Ain't going to cancel. Met her down there. She got her workout in. Kettlebells, lunges, the whole thing. When that workout finished, I put it out to the universe. I remember, well, I've got to find a building. I've got to find a place I can move forward with this thing. I'm driving around, looking at buildings, taking phone numbers, all that kind of stuff. Within about 2 days, somebody said to me, have you ever tried this place down my Leica house? I think they might have a space down there. I'll talk to the guy down there. This is what I've done. And really, the story from there is history. I'm here now. It was an empty room, all right place. It's either here or nothing. What am I going to do? And I ain't going to do nothing. Come to an agreement with the guy who owns the building, and The rest is history. We're here now.
And I have to say, when I first walked in here and he said, look, this is where the training is, quietly I said to myself, I don't know how this is going to work. And it goes back to your passion, consistency, and staying true to yourself and having a clear vision. Because you must have saw what other people wouldn't see. And this is why it's important for anyone listening that's about to embark on a business, or anything that they want to do and achieve. Would you have imagined this looking like this?
You have to have a creative mindset.
Okay.
Always trying to build, never stagnate. You've got to have an open mind, because, like, again, look what happened with this lockdown and this COVID thing. Nobody expected that. Nobody before it would have said, this is how this year is going to be for me. So sometimes you've got to ride the storm.
Yeah.
You can get up one morning, and say to yourself, yeah, today's going to be a good day. And you go out there and you get a flat tire or something. Here comes a misfortune. It could be anything. Natural disaster, anything. And like I said earlier, it's not the situation, it's how you deal with it. And I think because I have that kind of mindset, whereas here's a situation, how are you going to deal with it, Ezra? You know what I mean? Your dream and your vision, and you make sure your mindset is positive all the time. And I do my utmost to make sure that's the way my thinking is. So it's not necessarily the end vision, because there's no end vision. This could be just the start of something else. How do I know that a millionaire not going to come to me and say, yo, Ez, here's a building. What do you want to do with it?
Yeah.
I've got to be ready. So this might be just a stepping stone. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right.
And looking back at 2020, because, a lot of people, the death rate was high. Mental health went through the roof. People lost jobs. Some people reinvented themselves, and I think you were one of them, in terms of, I wouldn't say you reinvented yourselves, but you kind of like evolved to adapt to the new way of living. And I think that you definitely came out of, or ended 2020 really, really strong.
Thank you.
In my personal opinion, I think you ended it strong. Not to take away, the families that's gone through grief and job losses and so forth, but I think with you, Ezra, you really ended 2020 strong. And you said something to me the other day, and I spoke to Jay about it. It was the 25th of December, 7:30. We did a class here. You mashed me up, Ezra. I have to say, you mashed me up. At the end of that class, and this is where it hit home with me in terms of how you ended that year very, very strong. You said to me, Steve, if I continue training to the end, 31st of December, I would have trained every single day of that year. And straight away I thought to myself, well, where do you rest? But you also said, because I think somebody else said you need rest and so forth. And you said, listen, if you manage yourself effectively, you can get the rest. When I leave from here, I'm going to get 6 hours sleep for my class this afternoon. So in terms of looking back at 2020, I don't think you would have realized how much work you put in, because you've already said it doesn't feel like work.
That's true.
So if you reflect on 2020 in terms of your training, did you realize, or did you notice that you accelerated even more? Your training has been high anyway, but I personally believe that 2020, your training went up another notch, which I didn't believe that there was any more notches that you could take it, because it was high anyway. When you reflect on 2020, do you feel, or do you notice that you've gone up another notch?
Definitely. Stephen, I don't really believe that there's any roof, if that makes sense.
I've noticed that about you.
I don't think there's no roof, bro. We can always just consistently keep growing and growing and growing, I do believe that. Even if I was to even slow down, I still got my tutoring side of me. because I'm trying to develop that. My personal one-to-one skills and all that kind of thing is on point.
Yes.
I don't want to slow down from pushing my weights and running up and down and all that kind of stuff. Because if I don't want to slow down, I'm not going to slow down, if that makes sense. I'm just going to keep pushing the bar, as hard as I can. And I think that goes across the whole spectrum of life. Once you start to slow down, you start to lose. I think you just start to lose it. Age is just a number, as I'm saying, and I do believe it is. You know what I mean? How are you supposed to behave at 40? How are you supposed to behave at 60? This is somebody's guideline. But why don't you make up your own guideline? And I think that's all I've basically done. I'm just pushing and pushing and pushing.
Throughout your journey, Ezra, what would you say has been the biggest lesson you've learned?
Never give up. I think that's the biggest lesson. Never give up. While you've got life, just always constantly try to better yourself. I think that's one of the greatest lessons. You know what I mean? And like I said, let's talk about this year, because this year is going to be a very traumatic year for a lot of people. You know what I mean? But if you're consistently trying to learn and educate and better yourself as an individual, you may stand a better chance of getting through than if you're just going to sit down and allow it to unfold around you, or you've been dictated to without doing your own personal research to try to better yourself as an individual. Imagine a world if everybody was trying to better themselves. And again, I'm not just talking work, finance and business and things like that. I'm talking as an individual to be the best version of themselves. I think we'd have a greater society and a better world.
For those who are listening to this podcast, what is the most important thing you'd want someone to leave with from this discussion?
I think the first thing that comes to me is that we're all the same. Some born with, nothing. Some born and have good financial backing, good schooling, all of that. But at the end of the day, we're all the same. I think the earliest concept for me was to know thyself. And I think for me, that is the main key. We have to know who we are. We're all individuals. At a time in our life, we're lost. We don't know where we're going, what we're doing. We make bad mistakes, bad judgment, all these kind of things. But at the end of the day, if we continue to keep educating and learning and trying to improve ourselves and better ourselves, maybe then we can find a better peace within ourselves. And everybody want that at the end of the day. Happiness, peace. You know what I mean? Loving family, all of that. You know what I mean? No drama, no catastrophe, no bad health. All these things. If you want good, you gotta go there and learn how to get that good. I want a healthy body. That means a lot to me. So I'm trying to educate myself. Drink the water, eat the greens, exercise, all of that kind of stuff. Anything that you want, work towards it. And I don't see no detriment in that. I think that's a joy of life. For me anyhow.
And I think because you really know yourself, I think that's why you don't compromise as well, because I know on the journey there would have been times where people may have said, Ezra, I think you should do this, or Ezra, why don't you do this, or why don't you jump on the Zoom, or what? Do you know what I mean? And you have stayed consistently in your lane, consistently. Again, do you feel that it's because you know yourself so much and you know what direction or what pathway you're going down, why it's so easy for you not to compromise?
I think a lot of the time, I've made mistakes like that. Following other people's advice and so forth. I have made mistakes like that. Not thinking it all the way through. And then somewhere down the road, 6 months down the road, a year down the road, it starts to fall apart. So little things like that kind of make you weary towards situations. And like I said earlier, it's not the situation, It's how you deal with it. It's how you maneuver what situation you're confronted with. So, because I've learned, no such thing as failing. It's all a learning process. With a relationship, with a job, with business, ever what. It's all a learning process. It's what you learn from it that helps you to grow. And all I want to do is grow. So even if I make a mistake and so forth, I don't look at it much as a mistake. I'm going to try and see what did I learn from it. So that means, say, further upon my journey, don't make the mistake again, because you should have learned from that.
Yes.
I think that's what kind of helped me along the way.
To kind of like start drawing this, wrapping this up, in 3 words, what did 2020 mean to you?
In 3 words.
3 words, Ezra.
If you want 3 words, mindset is everything. I strongly still believe that the way we think about things, it's thought, everything is thought, everything is, just like you asked me that question, I've got to think about it. So then it's my mindset.
Yes.
It's the way your mindset works, how you allow your mind to work, that is either going to bring you up or keep you down. I think that's everything. Mindset.
And what does the future hold for Ezra? What would you like the direction of your channel to go down?
Continue where it's going now.
Yeah.
Grow in the way it's going at the moment. Because Stephen ain't gonna beat about the bush. I'm very, very happy with my life.
Yes. I'm
living the majority of my life under my own terms. I can plan my day. I'm not a slave to no system, and I've never been. I'm very fortunate. That's what Rasta do for me, through the whole teaching of creating your own life and living life under my own terms. So it's brought me a great deal of happiness. I've never really worked in the system. I had a little job which I done for, I think I gave the system 9 years at a driving company. I enjoyed it, I ain't gonna lie, because I was driving from 18, 19, back and forth to London and so forth. Somebody said to me, the little job going, you want to try it, boom. But it started to clash with my passion. There it is again, passion, which is my fitness and living life under my own terms. That was just a job. And within the 9 years, I slowly started to decrease the number of hours I was giving them, because it was conflicting with what I wanted to really do. Somebody taught me this a long time ago. The wage package is sometime, the salary is sometime what they give you to forget your dream.
Yes.
And I strongly believe that. So within time I started to cut down. I was giving them 3 days a week, and then it got down to 1.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't find the time to be given to the job, taking it away from my passion, which is my fitness, my clients and all that kind of stuff. I'm very happy with my life.
And again, with that transition, Ezra, before we even wrap this up, because I think that's an important thing to touch on. The job was interfering with your passion.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that have a passion to do something, but fear will stop them from living out their dreams, or stepping or moving away from that job. Did you feel that, or was that something, reducing your hours from your job and going into your dream? Was that an easy transition, or how did you cope with any fear that you may have had?
I didn't have no fear. No. You see, because I believe that I'm a learned person, I listen to a lot of other people's stories.
Yes.
As you ask that question, I'm thinking about, I've heard stories of people who sleep in them car. I'm a big fan of Kevin Hart, Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
There's so many. If you listen to some of their journeys, from nothing, sleeping in their cars, to get to gigs, things like that and so forth. So I already know that if they can do it, I can do it too. It is about passion.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's easier to just follow what society would dictate and tell you how it's supposed to go to school, go to college, things like that, get a job, you know what I mean? Work 9 to 5. Some people working 18 hours a day at the detriment of their health, you know what I mean? Because they're chasing the money.
Yeah.
They're into the system now. But there's people out there who are living their passion. What they're doing is not a job.
Yeah.
They're living their passion. They're living life under their own terms and enjoying it. So for me, it was never a fear, Because I do believe that the universe will guide me.
Yeah.
If I believe in what I'm doing, you'll never work another day in your life. That's what I'm saying. This ain't no job, bro. This is just life. See the word we don't use yet? Lifestyle.
Yeah.
You have to create your own lifestyle. Don't just fit in and then one day you're gonna ask yourself, well, who am I? What am I really doing?
Yeah.
I know you must know that people who have big houses, big cars, whole load of money, but they're not happy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that. I want to be happy with myself. Every day you do something, whether it's for the community or one individual, but you're happy. You brought satisfaction to that individual or that group of people. That to me means a lot.
Ezra, I could sit here and talk to you all day. I want to thank you for really talking to us today and taking us through your journey. It definitely makes sense now to me. In terms of your classes, there's things that happen within your classes that anyone listening, you really should join one of Ezra's classes because the music is on point.
Thank you.
The music is reflective to the different moods, the different tones of the classes. Some of the teaching, what you've heard today, those are definite messages that's always projected during the session. So I myself has got a better learning in terms of where that all manifests from. For anyone listening, if they wanted to get in contact with yourself, give us a quick rundown of the schedule, the days, and how can someone contact you if they wanted to talk to you, not even about fitness, but about mental wellness.
Basic phone number 07947 751515. I'm here every day.
And where's that?
This is Malika House.
Okay.
That's our base at the present moment. Yeah.
And so for those listening as well, 'cause they may not know, they'll hear Malika House and not know where it's situated. Where's Malika House?
Malika House, postcode B191NS, and we're situated in Lozelles,
Okay.
Birmingham. Yeah.
Okay.
Our week starts from Sunday. I start first class, we call it Start Strong Sunday.
Okay.
That's the start of our week. Yeah. We've got classes from Sunday right around till Saturday. Yeah, different classes. 2 classes per day. 9:45 in the morning.
Yes.
And then 6:15 in the evening. 2 classes per day. And then on the Saturday, we've got what we call the jogging and the workout.
And where's the meetup point?
The meetup point again is Malika House.
Okay.
Weather permitting, we're on the road jogging. But if the weather is bad, as it has been for the last couple of weeks, we do it inside class. And that's 7:30 a.m. Right. As I said, if you contact me, I can give you a breakdown of all the classes. I am pretty sure that we've got a class for you.
Yeah. And if someone's worried as well in terms of, because there's always people, male and female, that may be conscious of their body or worried about going into training for the first time. Can they contact you before, joining a session, or can you put something together for them?
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's easy. I've got one-to-one clients who they've got their own reason. Maybe they don't want to be in a group setting.
Yeah.
They just want one-to-one classes. Our one-to-one classes are based on half-an-hour slots or 1 hour slots. So I'm trying to tailor it towards the client. Some clients won't be able to manage a whole hour.
Yes.
Or they can't give an whole hour to a class. So we break it down into half-an-hour classes. So there's always a way. And for me, I'm always trying to reinvent myself, create different ways to make sure that my clients are given the best workout possible.
I'm gonna show you I'm ugly. Come on, work. Come on.
So listeners, you heard it there from the man himself. You've got his contact details. We'll all put the contact details on our platforms as well, so you can get in contact with Ezra. And yes, it's definitely something that I would really recommend. So Ezra, thank you again for today's, I won't call it an interview, today's discussion. It was definitely enlightening for me. This is our first episode, so I thought it was really fitting that I sit down and conversate with yourself, Ezra, for the first episode, because I've been on a journey. I've grown over the time, and I have to say part of that growth is down to these sessions. So again, if anyone's going through any mental health issues, any bereavements, you're concerned about your health and well-being, or you just want to change in your lifestyle, I would highly recommend Ace Fitness for you. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up, Ezra?
I would like to say big up to yourself as well, because you were talking about entrepreneur earlier, and you've just said it yourself. You're on a journey yourself. You've just started up the whole podcast thing. And to me, that's a beautiful thing. Like I said to you earlier, you know what I mean? Anybody who's trying to find something different from how the society has basically told you how to be, hats off to you. So what you're doing here with this podcasting, I hope it takes you as far as you want it to take you. Well done to you too, bro.
Thank you, brother. So Jay and myself, we will be signing out. We'll see you in episode 2.
Salute.